OSP is you're 10-4 in your career, right?
Yes, sir.
I was looking back at your early losses. A good example of kind of being green at the time. Not that they were bad losses, but you lost to Rodney Wallace, nice fighter. But and you also lost to Nick Ficchetti, who was like a borderline Olympic level wrestler. How much better are you? Well, he was a good wrestler. He was. He was at Michigan State, and that's what he trained for. But was that one of those fights where it's like my wrestling's not up to snuff yet, or?
Yeah, he was one of them guys that, like you said, he's a borderline Olympic wrestler.
Yeah.
He's one of them guys that touch you and you don't even feel that you're going down. You're just going down to the ground.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you got to work your way back up.
So you just lay on you most of the fight?
Yeah, threw some pretty good punches on me too. So
yeah. How much better are you now?
I think I'm a lot better. It's one of them things. I think after my last loss against Virgil, which now is one of my good friends and stuff. Like, I just was like, I don't know what happened. I just had a new mentality. I'm like, I'm training harder. I'm learning stuff. I'm pushing myself a lot harder. It's one of them things you push yourself, but you can always push yourself a lot more.
Owens played football at Tennessee. So when you're in the gym, you train in Knoxville, right?
Yes, sir.
When you're in the gym, can you tell a difference in terms of learning curve with guys who aren't natural athletes? Because obviously you're a natural athlete. You in college you were somewhere between 220 and 230 and played special teams and linebacker. How big were you then?
I got up to about 248.
Okay, so 248. Yeah. Now he's fighting at 205. But can you tell like that it's a little easier for you to pick up on stuff versus some other people who aren't natural athletes?
Yeah, I definitely can tell. It's one of the things my trainer would be like, he'll be like, what do you think about this? And before he even finished doing it, before he even finished showing me, I know what he's talking about. He was like, okay, try this move right here. And it'll take me like 1 or 2 tries to do it. Unlike some people, it's just like they got to constantly practice on it. My body knows what to do and stuff. I guess I can control my body mechanics more than a lot of other people.
I still think especially the football background guys, a lot of them, the hands come easier to them. Like Matt, we've talked a lot about Matt Mitrione lately, who doesn't look like some unbelievable athlete because he's not all shredded. But I mean, the guy played in the NFL, and you can see just how relaxed he is when he strikes.
It's one of them things where, I don't know, as an athlete, your body just responds to different situations a lot different than other people. So even with mixed martial arts, now you're seeing when athletes get into mixed martial arts, you're seeing what happened and stuff.
Yep.
So, but I mean, being an athlete helped me get out of a lot of trouble. But at the same time, my biggest thing I try to worry about, I try to focus more on my technique than anything. So
Ovins is fighting on the Strikeforce card over at the Palms. It's coming up on, I keep saying Saturday. It's Friday. Coming up on Friday. So grab your tickets. We'll get you the info here in just a couple minutes. You're originally from Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Immokalee, Florida.
Immokalee, yep. Where's Immokalee?
Immokalee is down in the southwest coast of Florida in between Naples and Fort Myers, about 30 miles inland.
Right. Nice.
I know where that is. Yep.
I love the Gulf Coast.
I lived in Fort Myers for a little bit. My parents still live down there. Pretty big football program?
Oh, yeah. Immokalee thrives for football. Football, we usually have a good football program, good track program, too.
What size school is it?
2A, 3A.
Okay, so
small school.
It's not a giant school. Who are some of the are there some big names who've come out of there in the past?
Adrian James came there.
Okay.
Javaris James.
Adrian James. Oh, okay. Who else?
Javaris James, his cousin. That's about it.
OVINCE ST Preux.
I guess you could throw my name in there.
Well, you were a pretty big recruit. I mean, at the time, who else was offering aside from Tennessee?
Miami, Florida, South Florida, Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame.
It's all humble. Yeah, only like
all such little-known football programs like that.
What was it like? What's it like getting recruited? Being in that kind of frenzy with all those different coaches, basically begging you to go to their school.
It was definitely a rush. It was kind of. I remember, I think going into my junior year, I went to a down and dirty camp, and there was this one kid from another school in Laley, and all the scouts was on him the minute he got there. And I was like, and I'm thinking to myself, man, that need to happen to me. After the camp, I had probably about like 40 questionnaires I was filling out.
Yeah.
And then after that, letters just kept on coming. After a while, it got a little nerve-wracking just because every time you come home, you have like 20 letters in the mail. Then after you go to the school, your coach giving you like 50 letters and stuff. And this is like an everyday type deal. So it's fun, but at the same time, it can get a little impatient from time to time.
Who was the most obnoxious guy in terms of almost being overbearing when he was recruiting you? Like it just turned you off?
I remember I was working and Bobby Bowden called my job. My sister always gave the coaches my job number, and my boss picked up the phone and hung up. And then after that,
hung up on Bobby Bowden.
On Bobby Bowden in Florida.
And the crazy thing about it was he was a big Florida State fan too.
Yeah.
And he called back again, and I was like, he told me, he was like, you need to stop telling people to prank call. And I was like, nah, that was Bobby Bowden, coach. He was like, man, I can't believe I just talked to coach.
Where were you working?
Huh?
Where were you working at?
Burger King.
Burger King?
That's probably the best job I had.
Well, it's a pretty good job now. It's not bad, right? A little easier. Well,
yeah.
it could be tougher, but I hope it pays better than Burger King.
Yeah, it pays a lot better.
Yeah, the reward, the fame is a little better. So why did you go to Tennessee?
I think initially I just wanted to get out of Florida. It's one of them things when you get recruited at a high school, you get the different schools to get to choose from. Tennessee, the defense felt a lot better to me. Just wanted to get out of Florida. Plus the program was really, really good then.
Yep. If anyone out there has been to a Tennessee game at Neyland Stadium, have you been there?
No, I have not been in Neyland Stadium. Interesting because I saw Tennessee play on the road at Notre Dame many, many years ago. But I've never been in Neyland Stadium. But we used to have Coach Fulmer used to join us every once in a while. And it just spoke of how big and how obsessed the fans were. He'd talk about, they'd start arriving in these boats on like
Vol Navy.
On like Tuesday. And he says, I don't even know when these people work,
It's
They'd
crazy.
be there all week.
It's crazy. During football season, the city of Knoxville was completely shut down. It's crazy. It's one of them things where you look at the Vol Navy. That's about anywhere from 10 to 15,000 people. Then the University of Tennessee, the football stadium fits over 100,000 people. But that don't take into effect the people that's tailgating around the campus itself, which is probably another 250,000 people.
Wow,
it's crazy, and especially when you play a team like Florida or Alabama and stuff. I remember back in '98 when one of the coaches was talking about when we were playing Florida and we beat Florida last minute. They said when the stadium erupted, one of the refs thought he was having a heart attack because the ground was shaking.
Yep. Oh, I mean there's the upper deck on the one side. I mean, it definitely shakes when you got 105,000 people.
Yeah. I remember the first time I ran out the tee, I ran out and I had goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, it's just a big sea of orange.
So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Not to hammer on the program, but what has happened? How can you get surpassed by, or at least you're on the same level as Mississippi State? I mean, how does that happen?
I mean, going through a couple coaching changes and stuff like that. I mean, every football team have its up and down years and whatnot. You went to a couple of coaching changes, but to be quite honest, I mean, the season that they had last year, I thought they did pretty good.
Yeah,
all the games were pretty close games.
Actually, all things considered, but the way Kiffin left, I thought they overachieved last year. That was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's why I'm definitely excited about this year and the years to come.
So, are you going to take a side trip to L.A. to say hi to Coach Kiffin?
Probably not a favorite of Vol Nation.
Nah, Vol Nation probably won't appreciate it too much.
Think so. No.
That's OVINCE St. Preux. He's fighting on the Strikeforce card. 942-7770. You can get tickets on Friday over at the Palms. Did you watch the LSU game last year? The crazy ending?
I don't even want to talk about it.
I hated that game. I really wanted LSU to lose, and then it was insane at the end.
Yeah. I mean, just stuff like that happened. It's just like, I was like, oh, I was watching the game, but I was like, no.
So you tell me, we watch the SEC from afar, but we hear about the stories, like the Cam Newton story. When you hear something like that about a high-level guy, supposedly, someone was asking for $180,000, Pops maybe was asking for money. Did you hear of anything like that? Maybe not that big, but dirty stuff.
I mean, you always hear things, but at the same time, I just keep walking.
Yeah,
it's none of my business. I'm not with it. That's the type of stuff that'll get you in trouble and stuff. So you hear things. While I was in Tennessee, I didn't hear anything, but you did hear things at other schools and stuff. Like I remember when I was in high school, like was it Peter Work who got in trouble with along with burning his goals and stuff.
Yep.
So you hear things. It could be true. Sometimes it could be fabricated and stuff. So
who came in your class? Was Riggs in your class? Gerald Riggs Jr.?
Riggs is actually the class after mine.
Okay.
My class is Jason Mitchell, Kevin Simon, Jabari Davis, Cedric Houston, C.J. Payton. I was there. Richie Gandy.
Was there a quarterback in your class? Was there a big quarterback that year?
C.J. Payton came in as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But then, Kelly Washington came in too. But they moved him to receiver, so.
He was a quarterback recruit, really.
Yeah, he came in as a quarterback.
Oh, I didn't know Kelly Washington was a quarterback recruit.
Yeah.
And he had a cannon.
Yeah. He was a big time recruit, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't make it in the NFL, but because he's a super talented athlete.
I think he's still playing. He still get around in the NFL.
Yep.
He's still playing.
Yep. You played with Ainge, right? Erik Ainge?
Yeah.
Good player. Made it. Who was the best guy that you played with? Was it Kevin Burnett?
Kevin Burnett was pretty talented. Kevin Burnett was a pretty talented guy. He was one of them guys that, he knew what made him such a good player. He knew what everybody in the defense needed to do.
Yeah.
Even though our defense was ridiculous, our defensive scheme was ridiculous, and he knew everything everybody needed to do.
What kind of a guy was Coach Fulmer to play for?
Coach Fulmer was a pretty good guy. He was definitely a pretty good guy.
Seems like it.
Yeah, I like Coach Fulmer a lot. So
you guys stay in touch?
I see him from time to time. I used to see him from time to time. I see his daughter a lot because his daughter got married to one of the guys I played football with, Robert Peace. Oh. And from time to time I kind of see him out, and he was like, well, my dad was asking about you. And I was like, okay.
You stay in touch with anyone you played with, and what's their reaction on you now fighting?
They kind of, for some reason, when I was in college, I was quiet. I never really said much or anything. But now they was like, well, I always knew there was something wrong with you.
There's an inner beast. There's a demon. Well, you wrestled in high school, right?
Yeah, I did.
So, I mean, that's kind of the difference of, there's a natural transition. You're not just some football player who said, I'm going to start fighting.
Nah, I actually didn't want to fight at first. My coach, Eric, kind of tricked me into fighting.
He kind of explained that. He tricked you into fighting.
He asked me if I wanted to fight. I was like, no, I don't want to fight because I just want to get hit. And he had some 18-ounce boxing gloves on, and he told me to put my hands up. Kind of hit me in my arms. He was like, that's the hardest you're going to get hit. And I was like, okay, I can take that. My first fight, I was in a cage, and I kind of looked down at my hands, and I was like, these gloves don't look 18 ounces. So they were every bit of 4 ounces, and made it through my first fight. I did pretty good. Everything that we were working on, the game plan and everything, that went out the window. It went off of instincts, basically, but I made it through the first fight, and after that, I just wanted more. Who's
hit you the hardest in a fight? Where you were like, oh, my God, that rocked me. Anybody yet? Have you had your bell rung?
No, not really. I'm pretty good at taking hits, but I just don't like taking hits.